How many times COVID cases, even if only a small number of cases, ruin a special day for people? Christmas, April, now the Mother's Day weekend in New South Wales. Gladys Berejiklian, the New South Wales Premier, who told us just about a fortnight ago that we needed to move to reporting hospitalisations, not just cases soon, now imposing restrictions of masks in retail stores and a cap on household gatherings of 20, and there's no dancing or singing.
In relation to mask wearing at indoor places will be compulsory for the next 3 days. Public transport, if you're going to the supermarket, any indoor event will require compulsory mask wearing, in addition to hospitality workers and people serving you. So obviously you can go and have a meal, you can go and enjoy a hospitality venue, but the workers will be expected to wear a mask for the next 3 days.
Politically, Berejiklian no doubt thinks she needs to be seen as acting after the other premiers imposed 3-day lockdowns after their cases here or there. But I think it's over the top. And it seems the New South Wales Premier's early utterances of how we need to talk about hospitalisations and not cases is out the window.
Measuring cases every day isn't going to cut it once the vaccine's rolled out. We don't really count how many people have a cold, but we do talk about how many people with a cold have to be admitted to hospital, or unfortunately how many people succumb to the disease. And that's the way we have to think about COVID, because when you open international borders, even though we're vaccinated, many of us might still get it, but we won't be hospitalised. We might still pass it on, not to the same extent. And if I get it and I'm at home for 3 days, but then I go back to work and I'm not infectious, I don't think the public needs to know about that. But if I end up in hospital with severe complications, well, then that's something the public needs to know about.
Good news, at least, from the Queensland and WA governments, who have elected not to make the whole of Sydney a hotspot, just quarantine you if you have been to the venues that the couple who have COVID have been to. Gladys Berejiklian forced to argue this morning she was not taking the same sort of approach that other premiers have.
If this was WA or Queensland, they would have shut down the whole city. They would have said stay at home. They would have said don't go about your business. We're saying the opposite. We're saying go about your normal business, enjoy Mother's Day, enjoy what you do normally, just take that extra bit of care.
And they would have said you have to wear masks, and so has she. New South Wales Treasurer Dominic Perrottet has to isolate for 14 days and has tested negative after being identified as a close contact, having been at a cafe at the same time as the gentleman who's unfortunately got COVID. But it's a good thing for the Liberal Party he tested negative. He was in Parliament yesterday and at Mike Baird's mother's funeral with Scott Morrison and John Howard and others earlier in the week. Could have wiped out a lot of the New South Wales Liberal Party, Kieran.